Well, some consumers say they're worried about the effect of that proposed merger between T-Mobile and Sprint announced over the weekend. The combined company would be known as T-Mobile. It would reach an estimated 100 million customers. If the $26 billion deal is approved, T-Mobile will be one of just 3 major U.S. cellular companies along with AT&T and Verizon. Some people are concerned that less competition will mean higher prices.
Here, we already have to pay for college in the fall. That's expensive. So I'd like to go the cheapest way on cell phones.
I feel like they're already really expensive, and nobody really wants them to get more expensive.
No, they don't. The merger is partly aimed at sharing the expense of rolling out a next-gen 5G cellular network. Now, for more on potential impacts of this merger, we're joined by KTVU tech expert from Nerds on Call, Ryan Eldridge. Thank you so much for joining us, Ryan. Let's get right to it.
Yes.
Many are saying that these mergers are not a good idea. Do you think their bills will go up right away if you have Sprint or T-Mobile?
No, not right away. I think you're going to see a relatively smooth transition. We've been in this path before. If you remember, just a few years ago in 2011, we were talking merger with T-Mobile or Sprint, and then in 2014, AT&T was talking about merging with T-Mobile. And when those things fell through because there were regulatory issues, there was a price war that started, and it was awesome. I mean, everybody got lower prices, about a 19% decrease in overall prices for our cell phones and coverage. That was pretty great. And now if we go to from 4 carriers to 3 carriers, I think that in the long run, we're going to see some consumers get harmed.
That is a question. So the last time T-Mobile and Sprint tried to merge a few years ago, that was the result, this competition, this lower prices here. So if you have fewer companies out there competing for your business, how can they say this will lead to lower prices?
Exactly. Well, they're both saying that what you're really going to see the benefit of is going to be in the 5G market. But unfortunately, both Sprint and T-Mobile are way behind in the 5G market. AT&T in 2018 is going to open up 12 new markets. Verizon is saying they're going to open up 6 new markets.
So what does 5G mean for the company? What does it mean for the consumer when they get that?
Really, it's going to mean faster internet. That's really what it means, especially on our mobile devices. And that's where kind of Sprint and T-Mobile are talking about is it's no longer just a mobile carrier market. Their market is actually Comcast and dealing with AT&T.
So that's their competition now. It's a Comcast, it's the cable providers, because you can stream with Hulu, you can stream with Netflix.
Exactly. So they're saying that it's not just going to be a mobile field anymore. Now it's going to be this massive field. So instead of 3 carriers, really you're competing against about 8 or 9 carriers, which I think is a little bit of a stretch. I think overall you're still going to have these 3 major carriers. Sprint and T-Mobile have been fighting for the lower end customer or the more budget conscious customer, while AT&T and Verizon have been kind of sitting in their low lofty perch. And they're slower to move. When T-Mobile and Sprint start fighting and bickering, it takes almost a year for Verizon and AT&T to kind of catch up to them on their price decreases.
Yeah, that's what happened last time. Verizon was really slow on the uptake. Sprint right away jumped in and started trying to match the prices that T-Mobile were offering, and now these companies are merging. But Verizon, it took a while because they touted their service. They do have service that stretches a much bigger area. Let's talk about service real quick here. I know when I switched over, during that price war, I switched over to T-Mobile. When I walked into my apartment, my phone did not work, and I walked right to the store and told them that, and they immediately gave me these 2 boxes to put in my place to get better service. Okay, it's like they knew exactly what the issue was. It looks like T-Mobile has issues with service. How do you see this merger fixing that?
Well, you've got T-Mobile, which is GSM, and you got Sprint, which is CDM, and they're going to be slightly different. They're different protocols, and so they're going to essentially have to support both of those for a while until the merger completes, if it completes. And now most phones, modern phones like the Galaxy and the iPhone, they already have both cards in there, so they can take advantage of both networks. So it's not like you're going to have to go out and get a bunch of new phones, but the network isn't necessarily going to mesh right away. It's going to take some time. And again, right now, Sprint has the lowest prices for service. It's $60 a month for 1 line, and T-Mobile's just below that, or just above that at $70. So you've got the 2 low-cost carriers merging, and they may have the power to take on AT&T and Verizon. But what's most likely going to happen, and what we've seen in the past, is likely they're just going to kind of go in with the rest of the boys, and they're just going to kind of slow down and just be regular old,
well, that's still fun.
Prices. Yeah, especially
it's still fun for us because
Sprint
is cheaper, because Sprint used to be very expensive, but they became much cheaper trying to compete with T-Mobile.
Yeah, but now that you're going to have a user base of 90 million users in the U.S. for just these two companies when they merge, there's not going to be a lot of competition with Verizon and AT&T. They're going to be, it's going to be more profitable for them to just go in line and just be the third largest carrier rather than competing and trying to pull from AT&T and Verizon.
That's what many people are worried about. Ryan Eldridge, KTVU tech expert from Nerds on Call. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.